Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of the Disc Golf Fans Man. I am Bobby Cool Daddy Slick Breeze. I have right next to me Eric. We made a documentary, McCabe.
We did, and I watched it, and it's awesome.
Did you like it?
Oh, dude, I loved it.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, it was great.
Sorry.
It's cool.
Robert, we didn't make it.
And
No.
What the heck, man?
and you said documentary, right?
I did.
Remember the whole time?
I kept saying documentary. Or
Documentary.
Man, sometimes words just
Dynamic
get, I get hooked up.
documentary.
Dude, these sweet documentaries that we've been putting together are so sweet.
And at the end in his sweet t-shirt is Robert.
Hey,
Happy birthday month, McCall.
Thank you. Yeah, check this thing out. Bam.
Bam.
I do like that design. It's very nice.
So obviously check out for our YouTube.
pretty cool.
If we kind of talk about visual stuff, I apologize to our audio listeners, but we do live
Our
YouTube.
audio listeners, if you want to know what it looks like, though,
yeah.
it's like a midriff type
Yeah.
shirt.
I've tied it up.
And
I put my hair in pigtails. Just something a little
I'm
youthful
telling
for
you,
a change.
You guys need to just watch this YouTube
Yeah, go
live when
to-
it comes in, man.
Definitely
check
watch
it
the
out.
live version. So
Yeah, I
anyway,
wanna
we
check
go
it out.
live typically on Tuesday, but sometime with our traveling, we might go Wednesday, maybe Thursday, maybe we don't, and we skip a week.
Yeah.
Just so much traveling going on, but we're here on this Wednesday afternoon.
That's right.
What else we got going on? So real quick, let's do a catch up. I know we talked about it a little bit before we went on the audio, but we thought we probably should catch up our audio listeners. I played some disc golf yesterday. I did not play any disc golf over the weekend. I did, however, travel to Topeka, and I went to the Cider Days Market.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And there was maybe 3 tables of cider. The rest was just like a glorified flea market. It was cool though. I
That's
walked
nice.
around.
Did you buy any?
I did not buy any cider, but I did get a Kansas City Chiefs scarf for
Oh, nice.
Sebastian.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's
Awesome.
it's like cut out already and has Velcro. And
So he's an official Chiefs
he's an
fan
official
now.
Chiefs
I like
fan,
it.
yeah.
Awesome.
I've
Awesome.
always thought he would be really passionate about
he is.
Yeah.
sports.
Right. Yeah.
Sports.
Usually when I put it on him, he was pretty proud that they won.
Being such an athletic fellow himself.
Well, he has to wear it all the time now.
Yeah.
Yes, all the time.
Just so you know.
Well, every
Until
game,
they lose.
for sure, he's going to wear it every game.
That's
He's
awesome.
going to wear it every game. So, no. And then I ended up at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Ooh,
Threw down on some wings.
man.
I watched the game at the bar, and of course, huge TV, and had Buffalo. It was
B-dubs.
cool. Yeah, it was a
One
good
of my
time.
favorite
Good time.
places.
Pretty good.
You guys, what'd you do?
Well, I played no disc golf. Actually, my parents came to town. They were just kind of wanting to come and visit before. It had just been a while, and they wanted to come up. And I actually got some work done. Denise was out of town in New York doing playing a tournament, the CNY Championships, which she won. Shout out.
Yeah, give her that W.
But I actually, Gabe came by and we hung up a new light. We put up the backsplash in the kitchen, and we rewarded ourselves with an all-day fishing trip on Sunday.
Dude, yes.
And pretty much went out to the lake at like 9 on Sunday morning. I think we were pulling the boat out at like 5.
Good gosh.
So we were there all day. But we're in that bass tournament still,
gonna
so
say,
we're
any
trying to
updates?
catch some bass. I'm beating Gabe now. Okay, we both have our 5,
The guy who told
right?
you.
All right.
I'm beating him by a quarter of an inch on 5 fish.
The apprentice becomes, what is it?
It's ridiculous.
The student becomes
becomes
the master.
Yes. So
I
no,
don't
but
know.
it was fun. It was a great weekend. We have until the end of this coming up weekend to do it to finish our fishing tournament.
Yeah.
So
I did see you put what?
The apprentice, that you're like the guy from Boondock Saints who mixes up phrases all the
I
time.
do.
time.
Of
The
course I
apprentice
do.
becomes the teacher. The student becomes
the master.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, I saw you put a call out on Facebook. You're looking for some people to.
I'm looking for like that
fishing
honey
holes,
hole
huh?
well, I mean, we want to catch up because I
know,
mean,
but you're getting
all these people.
serious.
Well, it's because of this tournament that we're
Right,
in, and
yeah.
it ends this weekend. So we're trying to find that spot where we can go reel in some like 20 inchers as opposed to the 13.
Do you
to
know how
18s.
you stand?
Yeah, we're like in I think 42nd and 43rd out of 180.
Oh, okay.
So not too terrible. I mean,
That's solid.
You're
the
middle
guys in
pack.
first place are like they're like
Cheating.
at 102 inches or something like that on 5 fish, and we're at like 72 or something like
Do
that.
they take into account where you live?
Well, the tournament's all over. It excluded Texas, California, and Florida for whatever reason.
Mm.
So no, I mean it's just
Interesting.
let's do this.
What about you, Robert?
This last weekend,
Because it's your birthday month.
it's birthday month,
Right.
which means it's time to treat yourself.
Treat yourself.
Yeah, so Shay and I and a few other people here from town went up to Kansas City, ate some food, played some putt-putt. That was really fun. That was on Saturday, and then on Sunday, I played golf a couple times, and then played disc golf with Anthony as well, and my wife Shay, and yeah, it was a great Sunday.
Nice.
No complaints whatsoever. Good weekend.
Excellent. Well, it's getting kind of chilly here today. It's a little bit normal.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Abnormal. It's 64 degrees
Beautiful.
right now.
It was like 49 this morning when I woke up.
Super good.
Is there leaks tonight?
Yeah,
The
there's
tags is tonight, yeah.
Yeah, tags.
I think at West.
At West?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I'll be out there or not.
No, I'm going to be out there because I'm going to practice. So I'm playing a B tier.
That's
I'm playing
right,
Yeah, I'm playing the B tier.
The bonus beat tier after the
this weekend.
Yeah.
doubles.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, because
Did you sign up for the Radius Open yet?
Yeah. I thought
You are signed up. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I got on the wait list last night. So
No, I signed up for the Radius, and then of course we're going to be working the DD Open, which is the next day. So
Y'all going to do coverage for that?
yes, we're going to
Nice.
do full round
That's
coverage.
awesome.
Yeah. So
and
I'll be gone.
it's that $5,000 to $10,000 that I almost got last year that I'm going to get this time.
because of the Ace Challenge.
Yeah.
Nice. So yeah, speaking of tournament coverage, Anthony produced some really slick country club classic.
Slick. Did you say he produced some slick coverage?
Slick. The Country Club Classic, which has Robert McCall, Zachariah Johnson, Eric McCabe, and Kyle Webster. So an amazing card out there. Some good times. Ends up having round one or
Front
nine, back nine coverage, and
spoiler alert.
a 3-hour playoff. No, it's not a 3-hour playoff.
It pretty much was a
felt
3-hour
like
playoff.
It felt like a long time.
So be sure to watch that to check out to see who didn't win. Let's move on to the next one.
See who lost.
No, it was good.
This game
it was
was
a good
fun.
battle. It was a good battle. It was a good battle. It was good stuff.
That was good, yeah.
Let's see what else we got next. Well, we've been kind of dilly dallying. You like that word, dilly dally?
Dilly dally.
Dilly dally.
But speaking of tournaments, why don't you go ahead and sign up for the DD Open because there is still some spots available.
there
Yeah,
is?
get on
Yeah,
it.
there
I
is
thought it
still
was
some.
full already.
No, there's still because it's 2 courses, so 180 players. But there's only like
Oh.
112 signed up or something. So if you're in the area,
October 14th.
sign up.
Sign up for
One
the
day
Dynamic
B
Disc
tier in Emporia, Kansas,
And what courses is it?
East and West.
So you see the courses on video all the time.
Yep.
Here's your chance to either get some GBO revenge. Maybe you played GBO.
Or early GBO practice,
Or-
or a chance at that $5,000 to $10,000 ace we were just
Heck
discussing.
yeah.
Dude, that sounds so good.
Remember
Yes.
the Ace Challenge that we have for our tournaments, and you can also have it part of your tournaments you're running. $5,000 to someone who gets an ace. Now, obviously, there's specs and there's rules and stuff, but can get $5,000 if they get an ace. However, if they throw a Dynamic Discs Westside or Latitude 64 and it gets into that basket, they get $10,000.
10 G's.
So go to
So it's worth picking up an EMAC Truth for that hole because it's an EMAC Truth shot.
100%.
All right.
You want to split on that?
No, I do not.
Why would
Okay, it was worth a shot.
just because you call it, you get it?
No, yeah, it's a split. You know, it's like when you go to tournaments and
It's
you
like
say,
an ace split.
yeah, ahead of time you say if either one of us hits the ace pot, we split. So that
I will give you.
You have a chance.
If I
Right,
hit
but
it,
wouldn't you pay? Even if you don't pay, you can say, "Hey, let's split the ace pot."
you definitely both have to be
no,
in the
you
ace
both
pot.
have to be in the ace.
This is more a joke too because I won't be at the tournament.
Yes.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
So you're,
If I hit it,
you won't even be in the same town, but you
I,
want to
I
split
won't be in the same
because
state, but
I called it right.
I will give
I asked.
you the biggest high five you've ever received
Yes,
in your life if
ever.
I hit that ace.
videoed.
Yes.
Right. I have a $10 bill in my hand.
Yeah,
You won't get it, but it'll be in my
It'll
hand.
be super glued to my hand.
I love it. That's like what Ron Swanson says on Parks and Rec. I gave this year. I gave Leslie the same thing I give to all of my employees on their birthday: a crisp $20 bill.
Just crisp.
I love
bill.
I hope you hit it, man. You were so close last
Oh
year.
man, that'd be so awesome. It'd
Hey,
be so
do you guys
cool.
watch the show Making It?
Mm-mm.
It's on Hulu. It has Amy Poehler and Nick Offerman.
I've
Oh, it's
seen
their new one.
Yeah,
I haven't watched.
It's like a competitive reality show where the people do arts and crafts. It's
Is
pretty
it
cool.
is it a Hulu original? Is
I
that what they
believe
call
so.
it? Or
Yeah.
do they call it something else?
Are you sure? I think it's on TV.
No, I am not sure.
Okay.
Pretty sure
Fair
it's on
enough.
TV, but you can watch it on Hulu because
Okay.
it's like right after. Yeah.
So anyway, good show. All right, let's get to the questions. Remember, guys, as always, go to discgolfanswerman.com, submit your disc golf question, send it in on SpeakPipe or via our Google form, and we will try to get it on the air. The first one comes from Timothy. Whoa.
But don't forget about
Don't forget to
the
turn.
split that we talked about. Just keep it. in mind.
I'll think
keep
about
that
it.
in mind,
Yeah.
huh?
I'll think about a fair
Hold
split.
on.
You can send over a contract. I'll sign it.
I will. You better read that fine print.
It's legally binding. So
All right, everybody take off your headphones. And the audio listeners, I apologize. There we go.
Sorry,
All right.
audio listeners.
Yeah, sorry, we forgot to plug in the I mean, I say we. I mean, it was all Eric.
It was all me. I'm the one that forgot to
Who
plug
does
in
all the technical setup here?
Right.
the dilly dally.
All right, now let's go to Timothy's question.
You watch Scrubs, right, Bobby?
Yes.
You
Like 4 times.
Yeah.
We don't have to say what they say about dilly dally.
Right.
I was hoping that you remembered that. Okay, go ahead.
All right, here we go.
How's it going, DGAM fam? This is Timothy Anolenko, and today I've got a question on disc golf etiquette. So, I'm probably in the minority among disc golfers, but I absolutely cannot stand cussing. It just doesn't sit well with me. I don't like it. It makes me play bad. So, I was kind of frustrated at this B tier that I just played, at how pervasive and ubiquitous the foul language was from every single person.
I'm a little offended. It's big words.
That sounded like a curse word.
I know. Sorry, Timothy. Just playing.
Take it easy on the ubiquitous talk here.
At the event. And at one point, I issued a courtesy warning to the people on my card, just kind of being like, hey, let's not be vulgar. My wife's right here. Let's clean it up a little bit. Let's be professional. But that really didn't have that much of an effect on it at all. And I didn't really want to try to issue a stroke to the people on my card because I didn't feel like it would be seconded by anyone. And I guess my question is, have you guys experienced something similar where a large group of, or most of the players at an event had a disregard for the sportsmanlike aspect of the sport? And is there anything I can do about it as a player? Obviously, it's not like, hey, you said a bad word, you get a stroke. But I mean, just like, if everyone is using bad language, is there anything I can do about it? Or is it just like, deal with it? That's the kind of thing you're at. And, kind of a weird question, but hopefully you guys can shed some insight on your perspectives about this and keep it real.
All right, Timothy. So I'm going to keep it real from my perspective.
Bobby's definitely
I'm
keeping
going to
it
keep
real.
it real with the audio listeners. You're missing out, but I've got a rainbow unicorn keeping it real shirt on. So now he kind of explained it a little bit. He gave us a little bit of context where he said it's not like, hey, you're saying a little cuss word, but I would have to know. You started out by saying that you don't like cuss words at all, right?
Sure. Correct.
So, with a couple F words, a couple SHIT, a couple whatever.
Whoa,
Oh my gosh, now we're cursing on the show?
Oh, Bobby.
A couple of these.
Such harsh letters.
If such harsh spelling. If a couple of those things are dropped, it sounds like you're offended, even if it's just not as bad as for somebody else. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you are offended by it, but
I mean, if I throw something wrong and I say,
Whatever.
ish,
MFer.
yeah, and one, now if I yell it, then I could see. But I guess how disturbing was it? Was it disturbing the other players? Now I've been on cards where, I shouldn't say it. I've filmed cards where people have cussed, and it does cause a weird vibe, and I think that's not cool.
It's awkward.
It's awkward.
Yeah.
The thing is that Timothy, you gotta know where your line is drawn, and then you've got to. Unfortunately, because of society, you've got to realize that you're going to cause an uncomfortable vibe. Are you okay with that? Because technically, cursing is a violation.
It is.
So you could call someone on that, but then it's like
There will be backlash.
right. There will be backlash, and a lot of times Eric has his advice of. He just kind of stays by himself if things are bothering him because he's going to worry about his game.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, you guys can talk to the fact that you can say that, you can think that, but if it just keeps bothering you, then what do you do?
I mean, if it's bothering you and you firmly believe in this, then you got to call him out. Then I mean, that's kind of all there is to it. You can't. I mean, it's a tough question because cursing is. In our society, I guess it is frowned upon.
Sure. I'd say accepted in parts,
yes,
but across the board,
of course.
right? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, in the majority, probably every tournament I've ever played,
Yeah.
I've heard nothing but curse words. So I mean,
exclusively
curse words
At the players' meeting,
when I was in Sweden, I didn't know what they were saying. But no, I mean, and I know we're kind of joking about it, but. At the end of the day, if it's in the rules, it's up to you to to call those rules.
Right.
It's no
That's
different
true.
than the foot fault rule that
Right.
you keep hearing about. All the keyboard warriors saying about, oh, that's a foot fault at 1 minute 36 seconds.
Right.
You know, it's like, get over it. You know, I mean, I don't know, and I'm not telling you to just get over it, but you either gotta. I mean, that's kind of a phrase that you could say there, but I'm not going to say it. But
right, yeah.
But yeah, you get what I'm trying to say,
do.
right?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
All right, so I pulled up the rule on the PDJ page here. This is section 812, and this says a player must not this thing. Number 3 is engage in distracting or unsportsmanlike actions such as shouting unless warning someone at risk of being struck by a disc, cursing, striking, kicking, throwing park, course, player equipment, things like that. So for me, like morally, I'm not really excited when people curse a lot. I am certainly not without fault. I've said my fair share of curse words. But on the course, I try to think of it as if that's causing a distraction for everybody, not just for me, not just for maybe the couple of people right around me, but if somebody lashes out and is just yelling curse word after curse word, yeah, I think that's probably worthy of a courtesy warning. But if say Eric and I are playing and he throws a bad shot, that doesn't happen. But
It happens. You guys saw the Country Club Classic.
Oh, there it is. Okay, so during the Country Club Classic round,
actually, I did yell. Well, I didn't yell. I said something very loud, but you could hear on camera.
I don't remember it.
I believe it was, "Dang it."
Yeah. Oh, that's when you turned your
on hole 9.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But let's assume that was a different word than that from Eric.
Like darn it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, something like that. Something much more offensive. It's up to your discretion if you want to call a courtesy violation. But if say he threw that same shot and says something under his breath, or maybe that just the couple of people around, you're going to have to make it your discretion at that point.
It also kind of depends on the round that person is having. If they're just like getting hosed the entire day, you just kind of got to step back and just let them vent a little bit. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
No,
it's a tough situation.
I'm not saying like if somebody's kicking their bag and cursing at the top of their lungs, that's a different story. But like you said, under their breath or just loud enough for the group to hear is one thing. But if you're on the next hole and you can hear it, that's when you have an issue.
Yeah, I agree.
So
if you're affecting other groups, yeah.
I know we're dwelling on this way too long, but real quick, Papa Chuyo on YouTube says, be an adult, they're just words. That's false. They are not just words. If they were just words, then someone would use a different word.
Yeah, 100%. I
So
agree.
I'm not saying that someone shouldn't get over it. People have different levels of whatever. But if it offends that person and he'd rather not hear it, and it's something that's in the rules that says that he can call someone, it's in his right to call it.
Right.
But don't say get over it. They're just words. They're not just words. Otherwise, they wouldn't have the stigma that they have.
Exactly. And if it wasn't said in the rules, then it's kind of tough luck, right?
Right.
But because it's stated in the rules, you kind of have to abide by it.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Next, we'll move on. Next one comes from Timothy again. Let's see what he's crying about now. No, I'm
Oh my God, dude.
I'm so teasing.
Get out of here. He got
teasing.
his Keeping It Real unicorn shirt on and all of a sudden putting every speak pipe caller on
I'm
blast.
Timothy,
Gosh.
I hope you listen to our show. You
Eric,
know
don't
that-
call into speak pipe today.
I never would.
Yeah, gosh.
I'm so sorry, Timothy.
Wow.
Let's see what you got to say.
How's it going, DGAM fam? This is Timothy Alalenko, and I had a second question. This one's about disc legality. So someone had posted a video recently on one of the Facebook debate groups of a putt from about 20 feet, and the guy had in his hand the disc, but it was folded like a taco.
Yeah.
Kind of like the taco commercials you guys used to make. Wish you'd bring those back. Anyway, he threw the disc overhand, and the disc still stayed in that taco-like shape through the air and spiraled like a football, and he basically bulleted it right into the chains. Now, the question was, is the disc legal? And most of the people on there were agreeing that the disc is not legal because it retained its taco-like shape, and therefore it is altered beyond its original intended design. Most people agreed with that. But the question was, what if you used a Megasoft putter that is designed to fold like that and then go back to its original shape? Is it still illegal? And where is that line in plastics? Like, does it have to go mostly back into its shape? Does it have to go all the way back into its shape? I know some people bend the Aerobi Epic as well to get a certain flight. Are you allowed to do that? And what are the rules surrounding this? Love to hear your thoughts. keep it real.
What you guys got?
I don't know. Honestly, I mean, I know that the Epic Arobi or the Arobi Epic, whatever, is not a PDGA approved disc anymore. So even using that during a tournament, so you can do whatever you want with it technically, just not use it during a PDGA sanctioned event. I think Robert's pulling up the rules right now, but I would assume it's not a big deal.
I wouldn't worry about it.
But I don't know. It's if I saw somebody do it, I would probably laugh at them because they're probably mad and they're taking their aggression out. So I would just give them a hard time. But yeah, I don't know.
I'm having a hard time pulling up the rule as it is right now, but for the one that they folded like a taco, that doesn't seem bad to me. Like, I get that the disc is bent beyond what it should be, but I mean, how many people have you seen throw soft harps or soft suspects or whatever that just look like a mountain range on the top because they're so beat up and so warped?
Like bacon top, I think they call them.
Yeah, that's right. And then you can still throw those. It's exactly the same. And so if it were up to me, I mean, if you outlaw that, then you probably have to look really closely into, like, are rollers illegal? Are overhand shots illegal? Obviously they're not. But you could argue that the disc in those situations is being used in a different way than it was intended. So I don't. Here we got
8.1.
Thanks.
813.01b, a disc which has been modified after production such that its original flight characteristics have been altered is illegal, excepting wear from usage during play and the moderate sanding of disc to smooth molding imperfections or scrapes. Discs excessively sanded or painted with material, adding a device to make blah, blah, blah is allowed, blah, blah, blah. So reading that, what are you still have the same thoughts?
Yes. I mean, I don't know, man. I think it's dumb. Like, you're not going to be consistent putting with it, so I'm not really super worried about that. I don't know. I don't think
it's been modified. You've only
because
that's like saying if you
you could just bend it right back, especially if it's like a super soft putter like that. You know?
And I think you said this. I was reading it, but I think like what if I hit a tree super hard
and it's
warped? I mean, Ron Kahn and I don't know if one of you guys have, but I see these harps or these sinuses that are just like whatever, and Ron Kahn's like, "This is the best disc I've ever thrown." Flies beautiful. I'm like, how the heck does that fly? But
Ron Kahn sounds funny.
Ron Kahn is the exception.
Right. Yeah, but am I going to call him on that because it's modified?
No,
technically no, because that was done normal wear and tear. This would be considered not normal wear and tear because he physically did it himself.
Right.
So technically, yeah, you probably could call him out, and that would be illegal. But I don't see anybody doing that.
But I would not do that.
And people don't call foot faults. They're not going to call somebody from taco and a frisbee.
That's such a thin line in the rules. It's not like a foot fault where if you see somebody standing, 2 feet right of their disc, obviously you could say you weren't behind your disc.
Yeah.
I should call that.
Yeah.
Something like this is so thin in the wording.
No, yeah, agreed.
And then one more thing we have is that, you walk up to and you just got a brand new disc and you're like, what we call tuning it, where you're like turning it and stuff like that.
Or throwing it down the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. All right. Next one comes from Cam.
Hey guys, just a quick question. I just wondered, what's your screening process like for questions? And the reason I asked that is because you're obviously doing things live now. And there's been a couple guys on recent podcasts who have been pretty clearly inebriated. And it got me wondering, what's stopping people from sending in these questions, dropping F-bombs and stuff. And just wondered if you guys have just gotten lucky so far and nobody's done that, or if you guys screen them pretty hard, and what type of things would keep you from letting a question on the air. Would love to hear what you got to say, and keep it real.
All right. So that's actually a really good question, because when we first started doing SpeakPipe and then even when we weren't doing live, at first, when we only got 2 or 3, I was able to listen to them first, but now we have like 20 sitting waiting.
Mm-hmm.
And Disc Golf Answer Man is one of the most fun parts of what I do. I love doing it. It's one of the bigger parts, other than the videos that you see Danny and Anthony and myself do. It's one of the more outwardly things that you see happening with us here. Sure. There's a lot of things we do behind the scenes. So in reality, Disc Golf Answer Man is a small part of everything that happened. that being said, it's not the only thing we do like other places. And so I don't have a lot of time to give to this. So no, I don't screen any of the speak pipe questions. We have been very lucky that someone hadn't just come on here and just like.
Surprised Timothy didn't.
I know. We've been very lucky in that someone just hadn't started with a bunch of F-bombs or something like that.
It's going to happen now, though.
Probably now it'll start happening.
Thanks, Cam.
Yeah, thanks, Cam. Now we're going to have to screen
everyone. This is your fault.
And then, yes, the other guy that I've called in and I've obviously had some altering things happening with himself. That, we had to just shut it off. Now, yes, if someone calls and they're asking a question and they start cussing and stuff, I'm going to call a courtesy violation, and I'm just not going to. I'm not going to
immediate second, straight to the stroke.
Yeah, we would not play it, and I would have to apologize. Now, when we first started Speak Pipe and going live at the beginning, I would say, "Hey guys, just letting you know, I haven't screened any of these, so I apologize."
Yeah,
because I have had people message me that saying they listen to this on their way to tournaments, and they may have their kids with them.
Yeah,
right.
And so I would actually be very upset if someone were to try to do that.
Yeah, better hope their kids can't spell if they're listening to this episode.
That's true too.
Gosh, right. Bobby.
Or listen backwards when I say ish.
Yes.
Yes. All right, next one's from Anonymous.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Hey, Trilogy Trio. This is Adam Park out of Colorado. I had a question today about how much it is approximately for each of your touring seasons and what it really takes other than sponsorship to keep that dream alive. Are you guys working in the off season? Other than that dynamic, are pros working in the off season, or how all that rolls out? Wanted to say thanks for everything you guys are doing for the sport, and keep it real. Thanks.
That's a good question, because we are about ready to get into the lull of disc golf season.
Kind of, yeah. I know I can speak for myself. Back when I toured full time, back then there really wasn't much of an off season. The first tournaments of the year were always in February, typically down in the DFW area.
Mm.
And ironically, the last tournaments of the year were in November down in the DFW area. So, I mean, there was an A tier, or at least a big B tier, or a large event to play every single weekend if I wanted. So I didn't really take a lot of time off. I just grinded it out and just constantly played disc golf most of the time.
You're a road warrior for sure.
And I would say it's kind of changed since then, because
a little bit.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
A little bit.
I'd imagine there's still that many A, B, C tiers going on, but
there's more. There's actually more now.
Yeah, but these people that these top touring pros, where they are literally making a living from this, they have to be a little more selective. Now they don't have to go to so many tours to survive on the road.
True.
Now they're probably getting a little bit more sponsorship money, a little bit more money toward that, and then a little more prize money in each
bonuses, tour series discs, all that stuff really adds up. So,
it's just interesting how it's kind of changing.
I don't know that too many of them are going to go get a part-time job after the fact. I think they'll probably spend the winter months working on their game, trying to iron out some kinks that they maybe struggled with throughout the season. Maybe sell some discs, make a little extra income that way. But for the most part, no. There's majority of them do not get jobs.
I know.
A couple of them, like Paige, she'll come back to Emporia and work at the DD store probably over the winter.
And this winter will be the first year we're trying to work something out where maybe around November-ish or December or something, I will go to somewhere like Arizona, and then I will stay at a house for like a week or 2 weeks, and then the team will come in at different times, and we'll just knock out a bunch of video stuff.
Can I go with you?
All you got to do is ask.
I just did.
Oh, sorry. Ask the right person. But yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to that, doing that, because I would love to be able to have all that content to work on so we can keep pushing stuff out during the off season. I'm sorry if I cut you off, I think.
No, you're fine.
But real quick, give us a list of 5 jobs that you did in the off season while you were really touring hard. Because I know one was UPS, right?
Well, no, yeah. That was the winter job I did at UPS.
Yeah.
They ask for help during the winter,
right?
So I did that one. And then DD. I worked at DD during the off seasons occasionally. I actually lived at the DD store for a couple months.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, not too many people probably did. That's really about it.
Oh,
I had other jobs like before I went on tour full time, but when I was touring full time, that was my job. That was pretty much my job.
All right, next one comes from Andrew, and this is about courses. Hi, Disc Golf Amsterdam crew. I've seen targets with a spiral staircase you can climb to get your disc back. Another that looks like a lighthouse that your disc drops through the bottom, and a mandatory you have to throw through that looks like barn doors. In your opinion, do these features improve and elevate disc golf, or do they belittle disc golf?
It's a good question.
I think it depends on how they're done.
Yeah. And depends on what the event is.
Right.
Are you going to see that at GBO? No.
Sorry.
Yeah.
No, I think I think adding in technical aspects like that can be fine as long as they're done tastefully, right? Like I like the way that the Pro Tour has their big truss that they put around a tee box, so it's not a Mando, but it's advertising, right?
It is a Mando at some of them.
Some of them, but it's usually so close that it's like almost impossible to miss, right?
Yeah. It's a billboard.
Have you seen Ulibarri's throw? No.
The monkey paw.
The monkey paw.
Dude, that was hilarious. But when it comes to elevated baskets, you can have some flair on how you get up to the basket and how it looks and everything like that. But once it starts feeling like an amusement park or a putt-putt course or something like that, that's when I'm not a big fan of it, when it brings a lot more luck rather than skill into it. So I think they can be cool. If they're done tastefully, they can be really, really cool and kind of be like a signature portion of your course. Yeah. But if not, then it's kind of like, we're just playing, I don't know, like a joke of a game in a park, you know?
Gotcha.
Like putt-putt.
Yes.
It's kind of like the windmill or, you know.
Right. Which is very enjoyable still.
I'm okay with it on certain courses, but I don't want to, I personally don't want to see it on the tour.
Yes.
No, yeah,
I'm not trying to play a tournament on that course.
Yeah.
Next one is from AA Ron. He says, can you explain how card order works in a PDJ sanctioned tournament? I know that the person who threw the previous hole with the lowest amount of strokes throws first, but beyond that, I have not got a solid answer. Could you go into detail on the card order?
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, honors is the same in golf as it is in disc golf, and that is that starting on the first hole, you have whatever order the names are written on the scorecard. That's the order that you throw in. And from there, all right, so say Bobby, the scorecard says Bobby, Eric, Robert. Bobby throws first, and he gets a 4 on the hole. Oh, Bobby. Eric throws next, and he aces the hole. Sick ace.
10 grand?
10
yeah.
grand.
It was the hole right after the 10 grand hole. I'm really sorry. And I
the
throw
hole before, which would be even worse.
Yeah, that would be way awful. And I throw next, and I get a 3. Standard. Okay, so we walk to the tee box, we write down our scores, and then we rotate order by who got the lowest score, proceeding on to the high scores from there. So Eric would go first because he got the lowest score. I would go next, and then Bobby would go last.
Yep. And then go on to the next hole. Like say, the order is now me, you, him.
Right.
What if I get a 2 and you guys both get 3s?
Right. So if Eric gets a 2 and we both get 3s, then whoever had the lowest score on the previous hole, and you may have to go back a few holes to get there, whoever had the lowest score at that point, that's who goes first. So the lower score is given honors, which is the ability to throw first.
Yeah.
Even though it's not always an advantage, that's what it's called.
Yeah, I feel like whoever's like killing it, they should be able to go last.
Yeah.
That's
like,
what I
I would have loved to have rotated
dummies.
tee boxes on the playoff that we had at Country Club,
definitely.
but that's life.
Well, not necessarily rotate, but like if you have the honors should be last.
Yeah, or you could choose.
Yeah, if I chose, I would choose last every time. I think.
Yeah,
especially if it's windy.
Yeah, get a nice read on it.
Would everybody else get to choose, or just the person that
the person who has honors?
Okay.
Just the person who demands that they get to throw when they want to.
Do they cuss and swear until they?
Definitely.
I definitely like to play ready golf a lot.
Yeah.
During casual rounds.
Oh, you're ready?
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah, ready?
Oh,
Yeah.
you're ready? Go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who
I
cares?
love when it's ready golf and everybody's stalling because they don't want to throw in. They want to see what the wind is doing.
Yeah. Because they're scared.
Next one is from Clint. Why do you guys? I'm sorry. And this is appropriate because we actually have the Piney Woods Open coming up here in about a month.
Noise.
Playing, Eric? No,
Maybe.
you're gonna be gone.
50-50 right now.
But you are playing, right?
I'm like 80% playing. I'm probably playing.
Okay.
It's one of my favorite tournaments.
Me and Anthony are definitely going to.
His name is
do
on the
some
rock.
production stuff. So
My name is on the rock.
I want my name to be on the rocks
Piney
so
Woods
bad.
Open. So anyway, this guy, he says, what do you guys think of the balance at Lindsay Park in Tyler, Texas? Red and blue courses seem easy, and the gold course, which is Dogwood, is extremely difficult, which in fact, if you walk up to Dogwood, it has a
warning
stone that says,
it's a warning.
basically warns
It does.
you
It
that
says warning.
this is a hard course, basically. So what do you guys, what do you think of the balance?
I think it's a pretty good balance. I think I would never consider the red and blue course to be easy.
Nope.
By any means. You still have to throw, pretty accurate shots
Right.
to score well there, especially on that. I don't remember the color. The blue course, I think, is that the one that has the two monkey holes?
Yes.
The holes that you play. There's 2 holes back to back through the woods, and there's just monkeys, like stuffed monkeys, all through the trees.
Oh yeah,
I think those are
It's
out of
pretty cool.
rotation
It's
now
pretty
or
cool.
something. But
Oh,
yes,
are they?
But that's the right course. That's the blue course.
Well, that course is it actually reminds me of like a Jones East because it's a little more lengthy, minus those 2 holes in the woods, but a little bit of elevation. But I wouldn't consider those 2 courses to be easy at all. I would consider Dogwood to be very difficult, very challenging, and it could get even more difficult. I think, if they put in a few longer pins on a couple holes, maybe a couple longer tee pads, they could also possibly manage to do a little manicuring through there a little bit here and there. But for the most part, I'm jealous of that complex. If I had those 3 courses,
Oh my gosh,
as my home courses,
Yep.
oh man, they're like, what's his name that lives down there?
Farnham.
Chris Farnham.
Yeah.
He's such a good dude, and he's such a great golfer because of those 3 courses.
Yep. I agree. Super fantastic courses. I'm excited to go back if I can. But yeah, I think the red is the easiest course, but it's not
Is
even
that the elevated basket course?
yes.
Okay.
That's the easiest, but it's not easy, so to speak. I mean, it's not like people are going out there and shooting 10, 11, 12 every single time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think 1,000 rated was right around He-Man par or a little bit under. So I don't think it's too easy. Blue, I played awful on the one time I played it, so I think that's really hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously,
and then Dogwood is
of course that's difficult.
Yeah.
Clint,
So good.
So good. I love it.
He goes on to say, "Have you guys listened to yourself at half speed? Bobby at half speed makes me laugh my head off every time."
I have not.
guys, and keep it up. Man, we have to listen to it one time.
You should talk in half speed sometime just so it really throws him off.
Yeah. Hi, Clint. How are you?
And then really
that's
fast.
way faster than half speed.
Thanks for listening. All right, next one is from Thomas.
What's up, Bobby Cool Daddy Slick Breeze, Mr. Eric E. Mac McCabe, and Robert, most awesome team captain in the world, McCall.
Hey, sweet. Thanks, man.
Look, we were just drying our eyes, blowing our noses after this amazing win by one Miss Paige Bjerkaas. And so the burning question all of us have right about now, and I'm wondering if y'all even may have figured this out by Tuesday, but what signature disc
Yeah,
are we
that's what I
going to
thought was
see
coming.
from this young lady here? I cannot wait to stack them in our bags. So got fingers crossed for trespass or possibly escape or getaway, but let's see what you guys have to say about it. Love to hear it. This is Tom from Arkansas. You guys rock. Thanks for all you do.
Yeah, so obviously this is an older question. So this was from 2 weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
as Paige was winning. For our YouTube audience, Danny there's some images of a Dimax and images of the signature disc, which is a Fusion Burst Judge, which she threw a lot off the tee pad, as a matter of fact.
Arguably what won her the tournament.
Yeah, she did really well. So right now the YouTube guys can see the Judge out there has the Paige Bjerkaas signature on the top, and then of course in the bottom or the corner it says to 2018 World Championship.
And that's just the stamp that we came up with now. The actual signature stamp will look a little different than
Right.
that. We had a bunch of Fusion Judges in the warehouse, and we wanted to stamp those up for her. And I don't throw the Fusion Judge, but I do now.
Yeah.
And because of the way, not just because of the way she did it, but I absolutely want to support her.
Oh yeah.
And I called up Doug the day that we stamped them, and it was the night we did the tag or the league out at the country club. And I told him, hey, will you bring me one of those? Because I got to have one in the bag.
Nice.
So
yeah, and then the Dimax one, some people just want it to hang up on their wall to kind of commemorate, because it was a really cool story having Paige Bjerkaas playing since she was 9 years old, and then decided to take somewhat of a break to go to school. And then after going to school for a couple years, then decided I'm going to head back out on the road because she just never lost her love for disc golf and her competitive nature. And even more to the story that I read, where she actually asked her mother and father asked their advice. Yeah. Should I go out on the road? Should I do this? They didn't. She wasn't even sure she wanted to play in the worlds, in pro worlds. She was so undecided finally her mother said, "You only live once." She went out there, and of course, she killed it and won the.
Did she
2018
say that,
World
or did
Her
she
mother
say
actually said
YOLO?
YOLO.
Knowing Noemi, she probably did say
Yeah, that's
YOLO.
actually true now that you said that.
Yeah, she probably did say YOLO. So anyway, very good story. So yes, to answer your question. Now, other exciting thing is next year. Is that still in play?
That's in play.
Okay. Next year, we have all these Lucid X discs that help support our touring players, and she has decided, for obvious reasons, that she wants to even go further, how much she can do more in disc golf. So to kind of help her out next year, she's going to have the Lucid X Getaway, which I'm sure
I'm thrilled about.
A lot of people are excited about because the Getaway has been a very popular
That's
disc.
going to be an awesome mold. I cannot wait for that one in Lucid X Plastic.
Agreed.
Next one comes from Hunter. Discuss the effects of playing disc golf at high versus low elevations. Now, this is something we've talked about before, but give us a real quick, brief rundown on playing disc golf high elevation versus low elevation.
Well,
What kind of the show is off the rails today?
Bobby is off the rails today.
Yeah, that's 100%.
It's that shirt.
It's the unicorn.
You are
shirt.
not allowed to wear that shirt again.
Yeah, why do you think he's wearing that shirt?
You're not allowed to wear that shirt again during
gosh.
Answer Man. Unless you stamp some D's on it somewhere.
Should I put like maybe right there a little deeper?
Yeah.
Anyway.
So playing at elevation. So in general, at elevation, your discs are going to act more stable to overstable than they do not at elevation. And that's pretty much it. So
That's it.
yeah, take your
higher
Renegade.
you go up,
Yeah,
the more stable the disc is.
Exactly. So take your Renegade, that's usually your roller, and go up to 8,000 or 9,000 feet, and now it's going to be a nice easy turn, maybe kind of straight. Your Trespass that usually goes straight is now going to be quite overstable, kind of like your Enforcer or Defender. And your Enforcer and Defender, you can just leave in the car.
Have you ever thrown it at like high elevation?
Mm-mm.
No.
Mm-mm.
It's
But not those discs. I've thrown it like 8,000 feet, but a long time ago.
yeah. It's interesting trying
Yeah,
to play
definitely.
a tournament at that. It is. I mean, you think no, there's no way it's going to be more, and then yeah, sure enough, it's your discs are flying more stable than you thought they ever could.
Yep, definitely.
Next one is from Shay, still not Robert's wife.
Dang it.
This one he says this one may be for EMAC.
Oh,
There is a public golf course in my area I'd like to approach about installing a disc golf course. What is the best way to approach the owner? Cautious.
Did he say it's public?
Yes.
First, buy one of Bobby's shirts. Put it on.
Yes.
Make sure you look professional.
And then pretend you're an actual golfer, not a disc golfer.
That's right. Dress up nice.
Public course, those are going to be a little more challenging to get involved with because typically your public courses are not struggling by any means to make revenue, meaning they don't have very many open times for disc golf. There's majority of the time, like for instance at the Municipal, we tried to have a permanent course out there and it just didn't work out because of logistics of Saturdays when it's nice. People are golfing.
Right.
People are going out there to golf. A members only style of course it has each one of them has its own issues you got to get through. But my recommendation is just make sure you get all your documents together that you want and just approach them. Just go in and talk to them. Go in one day and say, hey, can I talk to the manager or the owner? Or if it's city owned, you can actually talk to the city about it. You don't necessarily have to go to the golf course like the city manager or someone along those lines. But make sure you do some research on it and be prepared to answer any type of questions that they're going to throw at you when you go in there. Like, how much can I generate? How much money can we generate on this? And if you have questions like that, you can always shoot an email over to us at coursesales@dynamicdisc.com. And a lot of times we can provide some of that type of stuff from our experiences.
Right. And prepare ahead of time because not everyone, this is going to shock you as a listener, not everyone loves disc golf as much as we do.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I've heard people go into proposals like that, just say, man, it's so great. I love playing. You get to get outside and be active. And then they start asking questions about, revenue and things like that. And if you have no idea, then they're like, okay, get out of here.
Yeah. And that's going to be the big one.
Yeah.
Revenue. What can you do for them?
Yes.
How much money are you talking that you can bring into them? Because at the end of the day, it's a business.
Yep.
And that's what they want.
Yeah. Agreed.
Absolutely.
And get veteran baskets. They love them.
We have them
The
for you.
golf courses love them.
Next one is from Noodle Arm Am.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
Sweet.
Disc Golf Answer Man crew. I've been trying to decide whether or not the Trespass or the Sheriff is the right go-to distance driver for me. I bag both and noticed that on good throws, I can put my Sheriff 20 to 40 feet further than my Trespass, but I am more consistent with my Trespass overall.
There it is.
I throw 300 feet on average, with 330 plus feet being a good throw. I'm trying to learn to throw more accurately and further. Do you guys have any suggestions on which I should bag, or would it be worth keeping both in my bag? Now, before you guys answer, I was talking to UDisc today, and I want to try this, the measure the throw feature they have. Have you guys tried that yet?
Oh, yeah, I've done it a
course.
few times.
I'm thinking about, if you guys are listening or watching, make sure you download the UDisc app and get used to that, because we're going to do a couple contests.
Nice.
Because there's a way
Internet distance contest?
No, yeah. There's a
That's
way
what
for
it
you
is.
to measure. There's a way for you to measure and then post it. So we're going to do something with like Instagram or Facebook, where you're going to post your distance and tag us. And I'm going to try to figure out a way.
But
Obviously,
it has to be with the Lucid X Trespass. Go ahead.
right.
Facts are facts.
It
That's what it has to be.
definitely has to be with one of our brands for sure. But we'll do something. But get yourself ready and get yourself familiar with the feature, because we're going to do something that by next episode.
It's
so
cool.
anyway,
I liked it.
Back to you.
Yeah, I would suggest you can bag both of them, the Sheriff and the Trespass. But I would personally suggest that you lean on the Trespass a little bit more than you do the Sheriff. But the Sheriff, it's a great disc. It's a great distance flying disc, but it's similar to like my bag, for instance, between the Ballista Pro and the Trespass on which one comes out and when it comes out. The Sheriff is going to be a little bit more inconsistent for you, meaning if there's any type of wind, you really got to put different angles on it, and it can get away from you because of how high speed it is. As where the Trespass, you said it yourself, you're getting consistent distance, and I would take consistent distance over who knows where it's going distance any day. Even if every now and then I mash and you hit that perfect line and it's just gone. I mean, honestly, how many times?
Well,
you know what I mean?
a lot.
I mean, honestly.
Oh, not a lot.
Not
Sorry.
a whole lot.
You,
But
you
when
had
you
to say
do-
honestly.
When you do hit that, it feels great and it's awesome, but
Right.
you got to look at logistics across the board.
Yeah, and you're playing to really percentages, right? Say you hit that Sheriff perfect 20% of the time, and that 20% is awesome, and it goes 330, 340, it goes right where you want. But the remaining 80% of the time, probably like 50% of those are acceptable, and probably 30 are like pretty bad, right? That's the way I think of it too. Whatever I can throw with more consistency, whatever feels good and I'm confident in, that's what I'm throwing more, even if it's not the longest disc out there.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to ask a few more questions, but this is to our YouTube people, like we usually do toward the end. Submit your questions into YouTube. We'll get to a few of them. We won't be able to get to all of them. Put them in there, and we'll answer some of them here live on the show. But first, back to a question. This one says, "Hey, Disc Golf Answer fam. This is a question for Bobby. Cool, Daddy Slick Priest. Bobby, has there been anything about your game that you noticed has improved since you have transitioned to the Trespass being your highest speed disc? Have you had any breakthroughs that you've noticed help you to throw farther or with increased accuracy? Any chance of an in bag from you? Thank you for the answers and insight. I'm a fellow AM player who is considering doing the same thing." So just so you guys know, a few months ago, I decided I'm going to stop trying to throw every new thing and try to throw so many different molds, and I was only going to throw nothing faster than a Trespass. I don't play a lot of disc golf, so I can't give you like a lot of data other than when I was playing with Taco the other night. I did notice that I knew my Trespass much better. I have two Trespasses in there, and then what I'm leaning on is the Trespasses and the Maverick. Depending
You're
on
killing the Maverick.
right, depending on what shot I need, and because I only have those two that I really rely on, I'm really learning them. I know when to grab my hand-eye Lucid one. I know when to grab my Lucid one that Robert gave me. I know when to grab the SE Maverick one. I know when to grab my Bio Fuzion Trespass, because I'm starting to learn them a little bit more, and they're doing what my brain is asking my body to do, and they're doing what I thought they were going to do because I know them much better. And so that's one thing that I've noticed. Have I thrown a lot farther? No, but man, it feels good to be more accurate. That's the biggest thing I would get.
Exactly, just like the question before.
Yeah.
Right.
So accuracy. That was a quick one. One more question, then we'll go to
5 stars.
Do we have any YouTube questions coming in yet?
Not really any questions.
Okay,
just yet.
so we'll do
Just statements.
We'll do one more.
Words.
This one from Dave. I have a couple spots and I'm trying to fill in my bag. Overstable. I'm trying to decide between a Westside Boatman and a Vibram Accent. The Boatman gives me more distance, but I seem to throw the Accent more consistency.
I think that's Ascent.
It is Ascent.
I'm sorry. Ascent.
Yeah.
The Boatman gives me more distance, but I seem to throw the Ascent more consistently. Thoughts comparing the two? I'm not familiar with this.
I'm not very, and I mean, obviously, you're calling this show. We're going to give you advice on picking up the Boatman over the Vibram disc. But if the Vibram disc works better for you, I mean, and you can find them since they're no longer manufacturing discs anymore. If you can find them and that's what's more accurate for you, by all means, throw it.
Sure. I've thrown both of these discs. The Ascent, I remember being kind of like right around that 8 or 9 speed, so it's going to be a little bit slower than the Boatman. The Boatman is an 11, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And I personally got a little bit more flip up to flat or even movement to the right on the Ascent than the Boatman. The Boatman for me is a whole lot like a little bit faster getaway right now. Not a whole lot of turn. For me, relatively easy to throw. Yeah.
The Boatman is a faster getaway to you?
Yeah. Well, at least the one I had that's domey, I gave it to Anthony now, but it was really good.
Can you confirm, Anthony? Nope.
He's not paying attention.
He ain't paying attention.
No, yeah.
But I mean, it was like that was the first thing I tried when I switched to be sponsored by Dynamic Disc. Before that, I was throwing a PD from Discmania, and I think they're pretty comparable. And so, yeah, I think it's just like a little bit faster getaway, less turn to the right, easier to throw straight and finish left. So, but like you said, if it's what works for you consistently, cool, try it. Yeah. I like the Boatman better amongst those two based on my experience, but different strokes.
Now let's switch to understable. I'm tossed between the Westside Underworld, the Hatchet, and the Lat 64 River. Opto plays quite understable for me. Also, what is the best for the understable discs? Do I need to carry one? I usually do, but rarely throw them. So,
I mean, out of those three, I mean, if it's really, in my personal opinion, what I think you should do is take all three of them out, and whichever one you're getting the most consistent flight out of, the most comfortable flight that you feel with, that's the one that you should bag. And then as far as should you carry understable, you should absolutely carry understable discs, especially if you're playing any type of a woods type course, or if you need something to just go right and never come back. You absolutely need an understable disc in your bag. I don't have too many. I do carry a couple more understable flying discs for me, but absolutely you have to have something understable in the bag.
Yeah, it's nice to have something that you can count on moving right on its own. Mm-hmm. Instead of you having to force it over, because you've got plenty of neutral discs that you could force to move to the right, but sometimes the line doesn't allow that, and you're just not feeling that sort of shot. So
then you need it to continue moving right, as opposed to forcing something and then that flexing out or flattening,
or even flattening. Yeah, I think it's really important to carry one of those. Between those discs, I will say there was the Hatchet, the Underworld, and the River. The Hatchet is the fastest of those discs. The one that's probably going to stay in the air the longest would be the River. And that's going to be a little bit more neutral. I think the Hatchet and the Underworld are a little bit more understable out of the box.
I think you should take all three of them out and put a Maverick in, but that's just me.
I love the Maverick comparatively. Agreed.
Yes.
Yep.
So heading over to YouTube, we got a few questions. David is looking for some advice. When learning a new disc and you only have one of that new disc, should you go out to a field and only throw that new disc on all lines and all wind conditions, or should you throw your whole bag?
I mean, it depends on what you're trying to achieve in the field. If you're just working on that one disc, then yeah, maybe find a buddy that you can play catch with on a football field, and you can just kind of play back and forth. If not, if it's just you're working on shots and you happen to have a new disc that you want to try out as well, then you take your whole bag out.
I like taking new discs to the course, sticking them in my bag instead of replacing what I would normally throw, just sticking them in the top of my Ranger or something, and then
throw it on
them
every single hole,
even if it's not shaped for it.
But he talked about field, not an actual round.
Sure. So
field wise, it's a little different than an actual round. If it is a round of golf, you can go play with a new disc. Then what I like to do is I take it, just like kind of what Robert said, is take a disc out and throw it on every single hole. Even if it's a hole that I would never throw that disc on, I'm still throwing that disc just to get some more familiarity with it.
Yep, I agree.
Dallas wants to know, would starting a college disc golf club / team be worth the time to take to tournaments, or should I just play tournaments for myself and focus on growing in the club. Or as 50 Cent said,
In the club.
Oh my gosh.
Fitty. Yeah, I think it's worth it. The collegiate level seems to be getting
It's growing.
bigger and bigger every year. The collegiate nationals going on in April. If that's what you want, and you think that there's enough people that want to get involved with it, then yeah, definitely, absolutely.
Agreed.
Timo asks,
Thanks for tuning in, Dallas.
Timo asks, any tips for throwing downhill instead of stability and disc choice? Greetings from Germany. Let's rock it. Thanks for your advice.
Nice. What's up, man? Yeah.
So any tips on throwing downhill?
Sure. Throwing downhill is just like most other throws. It's about nose angle. You want to ideally match the plane of your disc to the slope of the whatever you're standing on. So if I'm trying to get max distance, I'm attempting to throw down the hill instead of letting it go kind of flat eye level. I'm attempting to match the slope of the hill that I'm standing on.
Mhm.
That's going to give you your best shot at keeping the nose angle where it needs to be relative to the ground to fly. And also, it's easier to not lose that disc way high left. I think that's a big struggle that people have throwing long downhill shots is if you let it go just a little too high, normally that wouldn't be a big deal on flat ground because now you're, 30 feet farther left. But downhill, you could be 200 feet farther left and not findable because trees.
Yeah.
So
Disc Golf Nerd, do you guys feel that players going overtime lining up shots is a problem? I think it's odd. We have a rule that is broken so often.
yeah, I don't love it. I mean,
It's annoying
yeah,
when you have somebody, and I think let me say it's annoying for me because of how fast of a player I am.
right.
I look at the shot, I know what I want to do, and I execute. I don't. To me, when I stand over a putt, if I'm standing over that putt too long,
Overthinking.
you start overthinking things. Doubt starts to come into your head. It's just step up and do it. But that's my game. That's how I've been successful. For someone like, and I'm not picking on any of them, but Nico and Philo are the two that come to mind as two of the slower players on tour. They think everything out. They're a little more methodical. So they want to think things through and make sure that they're going through their motions and whatever the case is. And sure, it could be called out, but I mean, it's just like any other rule. It's no different than a foot fault rule. I mean, I'm not sure I'm going to be annoyed by it a little bit, but I'm not going to sit there with a stopwatch and be like, 30 seconds, bro.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Because then you don't get to focus as much on your game. Which,
I might
really
say,
sucks.
hey, dude, think you can speed it up a little
Right.
bit? But it's not bad playing with them.
Yeah.
It's worse playing behind them.
Yes.
I would much rather play with them than behind someone that's rather slow.
Yep, I agree. So compared to Eric, I play a little bit slower, but I'm probably like a medium speed player. Like I take my time, but I'm not sitting over every shot for 29 seconds.
I would say you take more time on putts, but we're pretty close to the same when it
On
comes
drives,
to stepping
I
up
agree.
to a tee pad and looking at the shot and knowing what we want to do and executing.
Definitely. Now on my putts, my routine from when I put my mini down to when I let go is usually around 15-ish seconds, 15 to 20. And that's just because, like I said, I think having a routine is really important, and I do the same thing every time. I will make an exception for somebody who say they're in some really deep woods and they're just trying to even get back to their disc.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? You can take a little bit of extra time because I get that. Everyone's been in that spot. However, if that's the amount of time that you take on every single shot, tap ins, like little routine hyzers, things like that. Come on, like pick it up.
Yeah.
Come on.
There's nothing worse than someone standing over a 20-foot putt for 38 seconds and then missing it.
Right. Yes, it's the worst.
Yeah.
That's why, like, even in the video, you see a couple of times, I'm probably like 10 feet out, but I'm still going to do my routine just to make sure I don't take anything for granted.
Mm-hmm.
But I've timed that routine to make sure it's well within the time limits.
You know, you didn't do the routine on the air ball one you had, right?
Well, I mean, I did the routine, but I didn't bend my legs. And
To be
just
fair, he
You
hit
did-
the flag. I mean, it wasn't necessarily an air ball, right?
Yeah, I mean, I hit part of the basket that was way over the basket. If you haven't watched the playoff from Country Club Classic, I throw one of
The second or third
worst.
time
It
on
was
that?
It was the second hole. I throw one of the worst putts I've thrown all
the
year.
playoff? Oh, yeah, that's right. Because we were thinking
Yeah.
he
It was
Yeah.
hole 2 of the playoffs.
It was for the win. And
You
literally,
didn't do your regular routine.
I did.
You did. It didn't look like your regular routine. Because even somebody, I don't know if me or somebody said
It was probably us, but yeah. I was just thinking, don't leave it short, because it was like 30 or 35 feet, and the worst thing I can do in that situation is leave it short and just make myself mad. And just leave it short, I didn't.
Who was the guy? Was it at Piney Woods or something? Someone was taking a long time, and somebody mentioned it, and they said that he'll actually, if you go up to him and say,
"Oh, I know who you're talking
I'm
about,"
not going to call him out. But
if you call him out, he'll hand you a watch and he'll say, "Time me," and he literally will be under the 30 seconds. He might be right at it, but
there's people that, if they know that this annoys you, will play even slower too.
Yes. Yeah.
So
dude, here's nice.
I'm gonna start playing my next tournament. I'm gonna come out just playing the slowest golf you've ever seen.
Oh, Zach, quit crying about the spoiler.
Dude, I love this. In the chat, we got hashtag full sends only, and then hashtag 3/4 send really. Like that. Yeah, that's pretty much what happened in that situation.
Somebody's mad about spoilers from a tournament that happened over a week ago.
Good thing I already watched it. Come on, Zach.
Come on. I didn't even say.
You know what? The best thing
who
was,
won the playoff.
You know what? The best thing is Johnny V, when he said there's no such thing as spoilers in sports. I 100% agree with that statement.
Right. I mean, you can spoil it for somebody,
sure you can.
But if
it's that person's fault,
it's your prerogative. If you don't want to know the results of a tournament or sporting event or whatever it is your prerogative to make sure you don't find out. Now, if somebody comes up and is a jerk to you, sure. But if you're really committed to that, and I'm going to keep it real. Here it is. If you are really committed to that, you better stay off of all forms of social media. You probably shouldn't talk to anybody, and you certainly shouldn't text your friends who you know are also interested in that thing, because they're going to tell you, assuming that you've watched it, unless you tell them that you haven't seen it.
And how long has the video been out? 24 hours?
Zach said he was just kidding.
Has it been?
No,
I'm
not ranting
it's not aimed at Zach.
But for people who get mad at spoilers, like your video about Paige Bjerkaas, like the caddy's view.
Oh my gosh!
Come on, dude! It's the World Championships. If you don't know already who won,
and that was like a week later.
Come on, dude! Come on.
The funniest one.
There it is.
We'll have to end it.
There it is. I got
it. The funniest one was Smashbox's coverage of Pro Worlds. No,
was it the live video and someone was complaining?
Which was it?
Spoilers.
Did they do live at Pro Worlds?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Yeah, because they had.
I was freaking on it. Thanks,
they
man.
had. Oh, that's right. You
Whatever.
did commentary.
No, cool.
It was so memorable. No, just,
dude.
Anyway, no, they had the thumbnail had Barsby on it, and people were mad saying that they spoiled it. It was a live show. How would they know?
Yeah.
They put him on there because he was in the lead, and they do that all the time. How would they know who was going to win? The thumbnail was created before the live show even went live.
That's because Smashbox made Barsby win. I mean, it's a conspiracy. It's fake.
Yeah.
It's all fake.
I'm telling you, I walked in the studio.
It's
and
a script.
Look, I'm not commentating on this unless Greg wins. I'm just telling you.
It's a script.
That's what I said.
I'm telling you, it's fake.
So, all right, guys. Well, thanks so much for tuning in. We appreciate it. YouTube, thank you guys for tuning in. We love it. We got to like 167 concurrent viewers.
Dude, in the chat, spoiler alert, Eric McCabe wins 2010 Worlds.
Sweet.
Oh, come on, man. I was still waiting to watch the video on demand from Disc Golf Planet TV.
So anyway, thanks for tuning in, YouTube. Thanks for listening to our audio listeners. We appreciate it. And we will see you next week. We're out.
Oh, I'm out next week.
All right. We will figure something out.